set.
Yo, this is Set Ready Ball, the Jet Life Podcast. Richie, the big noise of Beef Baseball Florida's here with you. And we have AZ back in the house. What's up, AZ?
What's going on, man? Number one in Texas.
You got that right, buddy. Number one in Texas as we're talking right now. Just completed the Bryan College Station Glenn Hopkins tournament. I wanted to go over some of those games with you. I'm actually going to throw some scores at you and see if you remember which games those were, and we can kind of discuss the tournament in that way. We scored 92 runs, AZ. 92 runs in 4 games.
That's an offense right there. Welcome to the Jet Life Trivia Night. That's what we're going to call this right here. The Jet Life Trivia Night. Let's go.
Yeah, Jet Life Trivia Night. Here we go. Do you remember when we only scored 13 points? This is the game where we scored the least amount of runs in. We still won 13-7.
I'm going to say Lone Star.
Yep, we did play Lone Star. Bing, 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 bing. We played the Lone Star Road Runners. Our third game on Saturday. We were only able to put up 13 runs against them. I'm really excited about Lone Star. The last 2 or 3 years, they've kind of figured out how to recruit some local players in that area. There's a guy named Johnny Steele on that team. I know PJ Navarro has been a long-time player with them. And everybody knows Cousin, right? Dennis Lynch, Cousin, who's the vocal leader of that team. And then their pitcher, Pedro. I'm really excited that they're making it out to all these tournaments. They were in San Antonio, gave us a good game there. And I hear they're going to be in Indianapolis this weekend, so we might see them all over again.
Look at Lone Star, man. Making the trip.
And I think, we have a part to play in that. Last year we needed a player to go with us to Indianapolis, and so we took Dennis Lynch, a.k.a. Cousin, with us. And so he saw some action last year with the Jets jersey on, and now he's able to lead his team from the DFW area out to Indianapolis, and 2 Texas teams in Indianapolis, so that's pretty cool. Next, we have 28-17.
28-17. I'm going to say that was the score of the Austin Blackhawks.
Yep, on Sunday morning, bing, 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 we played probably our favorite team from our friends a little up north of San Antonio there, Austin Blackhawks. They gave us a little scare, man. They were up on us I don't remember what it was. We just couldn't get the engine running on Sunday morning. Brandon and Mariano, and they had Steve Perrier leading off. They were minus a couple players. Mike Finn didn't make this trip, but Austin was pretty competitive. I was really impressed with how Tim Hypner put up a good fight against Houston on Saturday, and then he also put up a 10 spot on us. What do they call it? 10
That's
spot
what he
Tim
said, 10
Hittner.
spot. He really did.
Yeah.
He really did.
He put a 10 spot on us. It's true, on Sunday morning, first inning.
Also, Darius was out there as well. So, the Austin Blackhawks were out there, and they did jump on us. And, we were kind of figuring out what is this going to be? Where are we going to end up at the end of this game? But we did end up on top.
At the end of it all, we were able to put some runs together, make it happen. Kevin and the team started connecting, which was really good. But yeah, Austin always tries to give us a good game. One thing that they did that I was really impressed also on their coaching staff, probably in the 4th inning when they had a lead on us, they had a huddle. And this is my beat ball journalism coming in. I after the game, I was like, what happened? Mariano was pulled out of the game, and Brandon was pulled out of the game. And they let some of their, Austin has a huge team, man. They got like 12 or 13 people on their roster, and they wanted to make sure that everybody had some playing time. And so they put all the folks that hadn't played yet on Saturday or had minimal playing time. A goal that they had was on Sunday. Whoever they played on Sunday, they were going to try to get everybody into the game. and that's why we saw a pretty big switch within their roster in the middle of that game, which we capitalized on because we only had 7 players. So, we really couldn't do that many moves. But I'm really impressed with how the coaching staff takes that into consideration on the Austin team. That a lot of people may give up their weekend to go to a tournament. They as a team they decided like, hey, we want to make sure everybody gets in there and plays in the game, gets a little beat ball action, so that they're making their own memory with that. 28-17, man. That was our second highest scoring game. That wasn't the highest scoring game. 28 is 4 touchdowns, AZ. We scored 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns, and we scored more than.
And we scored more than that in another game. We'll get to that one, but third and foremost, we had a 17-5. Oh wait! Oh my God, AZ!
What?
I messed up this quiz.
Oh no!
Earlier was 13-3, right?
No, you said 13-7.
Yeah, 13-7. That was actually College Station.
Oh, I got that one wrong.
I think you got it wrong, right?
Dang it. Yes, I did. I said it was Lone Star.
Because we 12-run ruled College Station in the first inning by scoring 13 points, and then they just put up 7 on us. So I was wrong. Man, I'm all off. I wasn't even reading my own notes. So 17-5 was the final score against Lone Star. You're 1-1. Now there's only one game left, so I don't know. This quiz didn't even work out, but at least we're going over the games. 13-7 was the final score against BCS, who, again, we just kind of came out of the bat and went up 13 runs on them in the first inning, and we hadn't done that as a team ever. We've never scored 13 runs in the first inning, took the 12-run rule for 5 innings. They're looking good. What was really cool is that we made a lot of putouts against them. They didn't strike out a lot. Mr. Jerry, Reverend Jerry, is definitely hitting their bats.
It's good to see those guys coming together and getting better as a team.
So 17-5 we beat Lone Star. 28-17 we beat Austin. 13-7 we beat BCS, and here it comes, AZ. At 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, we had the showdown, the Texas shootout between us and the Bayou City Heat, second place finishers last year in the World Series. And we had a knockdown, drag-out, barn burner, 34-32 San Antonio Jets.
I believe JR would call it a slobber knocker.
How did it feel witnessing that game?
I've never experienced a big baseball game where we had early in the game, we took a 10-run lead. It was 17-7. And that evaporated in an inning. I've never experienced that. We've had great games back when this tournament in Memorial Day was in Dallas. We had a game where, we scored into the 30s. Both teams did. But it was never like this. It was never where one side just comes and throws a punch and then the other one throws a punch. And, we were reeling and then there we come back. And it was the main event, man. And the game lived up to the hype. No doubt about that.
What impressed me and what I'm proud of is the team that we brought to BCS looked like the team that we started off with back in 2016. We were minus a Ricky Rizuka, minus a DB, but we were all there, all the original Jets, and Bayou City brought their muscle too. They had Tanner, who didn't play with them last year, but played with them back in 16 when we started in 17. And so they had Tanner, they had their Jacory, they had Daryl Miner, they had Blake batting. They picked up the home run lefty from Tyler, who comes and plays with them at all the Texas tournaments usually. So, and Joseph Fleek. So they had their starting lineup in there. They're minus, a player that they apparently picked up from Taiwan, who, can't make a BCS trip from Taiwan. But I think that's the only person they were missing. that is going to be in their lineup. So arguably, we beat the second place team in the World Series last year, in my opinion.
It just goes to show what you should expect if we meet up in the World Series, what game that's going to be like. And I'm excited for it because the team, like you were saying, I didn't even realize that until you mentioned it right now, that it was the original Jets that was out there. And we never had any doubt that we could hang with these guys and that we could potentially come back and win this game. And it was just a matter of time as to when that was going to happen.
I've never been on a defensive end of 20 runs scored on me in one inning. That's what happened. One thing that I will correct ourselves with, we did have a rookie playing with us, little Ricky Castañeda, who's made his San Antonio Jet debut and fared pretty well. And he showed up in that game. We're really excited to see this. I mean, he's maybe like 19 years old, AZ. I mean, that's what we're looking for, man. I think the Thunder, again, they have 3 or 4 kids under the age of 23 or 24. And so the Jets have found one, and it's our goal to see if he can help us produce in the tournaments to come. One note that I'd like to mention is the fields. A big reason why I feel the game and why defenses were struggling was it wasn't that much grass on that field. It was a lot of dust, Texas sand, kind of. It was really gritty, and so when the ball would roll, it would roll fast, man. It didn't have any grass to kind of catch it, to provide any friction, and so pretty much any ball put in play, opportunity for a run. Where when you play on a genuine soccer, well manicured grass, the ball won't move that fast, and so that was a challenge. One last thing, AZ, did you get to hear the beep of Fonzie's new ball?
I did. Fonzie started out the game with his new beep baseball. I didn't get a chance to, field it as far as being out there and being able to pick it up. But throughout the game, I was able to hear it. I like it, man. I don't know about you, but I like it. I hope that we're able to figure out a way to make it to where they last longer, and I guess that's his plan, and that's his hope, that they're able to be more durable. And as far as from what I could tell outside of the game, I could hear it just fine. How did you hear it being there in the game and playing defense with it?
I did see a couple of them either die or kind of lose tone or run out of battery of some sort. Instead of having the 5 holes for a speaker, though, it only has 1 hole for a speaker, and then it still has the hole for the pin. So there's only 2 holes in this ball. One of them is a speaker hole, and another one is the pin. And one thing I'm afraid is, number one, the tone is lower. It's a lower tone than the typical beep, beep, beep. And I'm afraid that it might be almost the same tone as the bass, sort of. So if they get close to one another, I heard from Darius from the Austin Blackhawks, who's a shortstop, saying that he was having a hard time finding it near the bass. So I haven't fielded successfully one of those new balls yet. But Fonzie, the pitcher of the Bayou City Heat, is engineering a new ball, and we are excited about that. And we heard it for the first time. I hope I have some sound to share with you guys, so you guys can, out there in Beat Ball Nation, could at least have some sort of a sample of it.
Dude, so you want to talk about maybe some standout players for the Jets in this tournament?
First and foremost, Ricky Castañeda, the rookie. He's never played on this team in a competitive aspect yet, and he played 3 games on Saturday. We didn't see him Sunday. He had to do some stuff for school because he's still in school. I think he made the most putouts on our team, playing up front on the right side. Scored a couple runs for us, man. He's fast.
But we still have to have a race between him and Will, because I'm still holding out that Will is gonna he's still the fastest.
Will still our fastest jet. I would put money on that too, but it would be fun to see that. But yeah, I think he stands out foremost, and then
David Smith just continues to tear it up on the offensive side. I just keep wishing that we could teach this guy a little bit of defense, and it would be like an amazing player. He went 11 for 12. He went up to bat 12 times, and he scored 11 runs. I mean, I don't know how else to, explain that aside from just be wow. Our captain, Axel, always there on the defense. He's an all-around player, defensive side and offensive side. He always comes through, and this time was no different when he went 19 for 24. And also, well, Richie, man, setting back the clock, at least, for that game against Bayou City. Man, I never seen you put the ball in the air like that, man. I was like, I don't know, does Richie think we're in the home run derby or what? Because those are some good hits, man. But the craziest thing was like you were doing that, and then the very next game it was back to
Batumsh. Yeah, what happened? Key thing that I remember on Axel is we set up to our Omaha position, and that's to try to snag a ball that's hit deep right field or right on the line of first base. Those are hard to grab, and we set up in that top of the sixth inning against Houston, and they had Big Ronald Jordan up, and we hadn't been able to get that guy out unless Fonzie struck him out. He pounded one to first base, and Axel was set up right perfect and made that put out. I think kind of stopped the win in the sails of Bayou City.
Axel had one of those where it was that kind of a showstopper, and then so did Zach. I believe Zach also had against Austin when we were trying to get back in or trying to protect the lead. Zach also came in and did a big time out like that as well. So our defense is definitely, it was there for us when we needed it, when we needed to protect that lead and we needed to get back into a game. But Zach also continues to just tear it up on the offensive side and the defensive side.
That's right, AZ. Everybody played their part, played their role, stepped up to the plate, and we had a great Glenn Hopkins BCS tournament. We're happy to return next year, defend our championship, and be number one in Texas. From the bottom of our hearts to the top of our bats, we thank all our sponsors. We thank you guys for putting up with the Jet Life Trivia Night. That was a fiasco, but we still got to talk about the games. Peace out, everybody. Jet Life.